another talking video today. We are just making some changes on the organization of people and organization of space. And in this video I want to talk about these changes. We are a small business, small team of 8 people. Half of them are full-time employees, half of them part-time employees, students, and so. Right now we have a flat structure of organization, so it's all on me, all the decision making and managing of the people. And this is I kind of became a bottleneck of everything, because there comes a lot of decision making about small daily things, and it's often waiting for me to make some decision or come up with some ideas. So if we ever want to make more complex projects, like we have the H-tube right now, but in the H-tube brought a lot of stress on us, and in the future I want to avoid it, because like you can do some stressful things like once or twice, and then you're risking that you will bring so much problems that things will start to break apart. What I want to do now, or I will return back to the structure. So it was I started this business alone with my wife, and then we were taking the people one by one. Like first Karel came, and then Katka, and so on. Because at the beginning you have no structure and you don't have a time to think about any structure, and everything is working, so the people get used to come to you with questions, and you get used to organize everything. When you grow the team to some point, when you have enough people, the organization starts to be difficult. Because for instance, I come to work one day and I have clear ideas what I want to do. It might be a video, it might be some research on something, studying some, I don't know, electrical fields in the H-tube or something like this. As soon as I open the door, like people come and they have some problems, what broke down and what needs to be done, what is according to their opinion, what is important to do, and what blocks their work. So I have to stop thinking about my own work, and I have to go and work on the problems of the people so that they can continue in the work. So this is something what needs to be changed, because like at the beginning it was quite easy, because it was usually about some pliers for meshing the glass are broken. So I would take them, I would make some welds on it, and in 20 minutes it would be solved. But now there are so many problems, and so often that I'm often blocked until like 12 or 1 o'clock, and then I need to continue with emails, because there's a lot of communication, and then the day is over and another day is waiting for me. So this is something what I want to change, and it was quite difficult to think how to change the things, because in the situation, like when you are deep into it, it's really difficult to look on it from perspective and try to find a ways how to get out of it, how to change it, because like there are so many problems and so many things that are already working, that it's really difficult to improve things without breaking everything, like you know, striking it and shattering it into pieces. So together with Petr from Mario, I think we pushed me into the correct direction, and now I want to talk about the changes which we are going to make. So now a little bit of the product context. I draw 3 circles, and I'm here splitting the history of our production, like of the product, into 3 phases. Phase 0 is just the bare prototype. This is when I started, and it was all about to learn the basic skills that we need to do for the manufacture of the Nixie tube. So the glass working, the filling and evacuation of the tube, and the main point where I wanted to get there, like to consider this phase 0 accomplished, was to make some wires glowing in neon. So this was done back in 2013, and then I moved to phase 1. Phase 1 has been about taking the glowing tube and turning it into a prototype. So in the phase 1 we started selling Nixie tubes, and the main point was to develop a product with as high reliability as possible, and also building a team that will be manufacturing it. I believe that we are very close to this border, to the phase 2, because we have a product, we have a team that is manufacturing it, and we have the reliability improved over the years to the point where like any improvements as for the reliability of the tungsten to borosilicate glass seal are very difficult to accomplish. So I will talk more about this in the future videos, but right now we are at very high reliability, and I want to kind of freeze it and keep it as it is right now. The thing which, okay, now let's go straight to the phase 2. As I see it, phase 2 would be focusing on, like, we'll be keeping the quality and reliability and focusing on achieving as high productivity, like efficiency in the production as possible. All this time we were focused on the product quality, reliability, and other things which directly relates to the technology. And in the phase 2, we will be more focused on the production efficiency. So we want to identify the places where we lose money in the production. And the main goal for the phase 2 will be to bring another product. I will make a small spoiler here. It will be a tube that will be manufactured in much more efficient way. It will be smaller. Its name will be F tube, yeah? So this is F model, and I will do a proper announcement one day, but the main goal is to make it faster and more efficiently than our current tube without compromising on anything. So maybe just the digits will be slightly smaller by maybe 5 millimeters, but in other ways it should be better in all other aspects. Anyway, at the moment, at the end of 2020, I don't feel ready to cross the border between phase 1, where we are in the laboratory production kind of mode, and going into something that will need to scale the production and hire a little bit more people in the phase 2, because there are things which are not working well, and one of them is the organization. So we are very close to this border, or at least I believe, but we need to improve the organization so that if we cross the border here, that we are not dragging the problems from the phase 1 here. So between I jump into let's say semi-automated production of a tube like this, I want to be sure that the people in the team exactly knows what to do, what are their responsibilities, and what is the production technique. And also I need to provide them a place for work. So this is the context why we are trying to do the 5S system, and I will focus more in the future videos on them. So we are not here yet. I hope that, let's say, in 1 year, or in, let's say, the beginning of 2022, we will get there. But before we do it, I want to be 100% sure that everything works as it should in the phase 1. So some real-world examples of problems that we can deal with. This is a pumping system that we use to evacuate and fill the Nixie tubes, and it is operated by Katka, and it works well, but sometimes when I come to the work, she waits for me. I see the system is not running, and she asks me to look at it because it doesn't work, it does anything. The problem here is what I see, that the photon, this is the controller module, is blinking. It doesn't have connection to either internet or to the cloud. So this is one problem. So I go to the storage room, where we have the main router, because we have a couple of routers here because there are like over 100 centimeters thick walls, and I see the rotor. There are usually cables. I need to move with the cables and then it starts working again. But sometimes not, and I need to reset it. It's waiting for me to work on it, but that's usually fine. In worst case, it's something with cloud. This doesn't happen very often, but it can happen. And the solution for this was, we wanted to make the machine not dependent on the cloud, so it still can be operated from the cloud. And besides the cloud, we added buttons so that you can control everything. So you can control it from the buttons, and in case the cloud or internet connection or anything is down, the people can continue in their work. So how we get to this? I heard the problem from Katka, so I came up with the solution that we will add these things, and I asked Radim to add the buttons here. So he needed to disassemble like half of the cabling inside, replace the photon with Controlino, and do quite a lot of things. It was many hours of work from software, hardware, everything. And because Radim is a university student, he comes to work for us on Fridays and Saturdays. And so he works at different times when, I'm not here, Katka is not here, so we meet regularly, but usually when he do jobs like this, I'm not here. The next Monday, I told him like it must be ready for the next Monday so that people can continue the work. But the next Monday it was ready from his side, but the cloud was not working. I came again to do work, and I saw that the machine is not running, and Katka was, disappointed that she cannot do the work which is expected from her. Kind of stressful situation, and I was thinking how to solve this. So this is one problem. Okay, another thing that can welcome me in the morning is problem with these welding pliers. Here we have welding electrodes that they can be worn out or bent, or just not in good condition for the work. So because this is a working place where Lenka works, so Lenka would ask me in the morning when I come to do something with it so that she can continue with work. And because she really needs it daily, so I need to find my time as soon as possible to do this work, because otherwise she cannot work, and she can do something else, but I would need to think what else. So the best and easiest way how to get rid of this problem is to fix the pliers. So another situation, here we have a getter cutter. This is the machine that we use to cleanly and consistently cut the getters into pieces of the same length. And as you can see, it's surrounded by other stuff. It needs a compressor, which is not here. So I delegated this job to Lenka, so she can operate it. She knows exactly how to work with it. But let's say right now she doesn't have the good conditions to work with it, because it's just like not accessible, and it's incomplete because the compressor is in other room where Radim uses it for development for another tool. So so we will get this later. This is a good example of the organization of the space. So I just show you some of the problems that I need to deal with on a daily basis, and I'm now trying to find a way how to make the organization so that I'm not the bottleneck, so that everything doesn't go over me, and people can solve some problems within themselves. themselves. So in order to do this, they need to understand what they are responsible for and what's their job, and I need to make sure that they know they have the skills and competencies and everything to do these things. So a little bit thinking, I'm just not sure, maybe I'm overthinking everything, because this is the way how I do everything. I think usually everything end up too complex when I do it, but I don't see any easier way. These are the people that we have. This is my wife. She was there since the phase 1, but she didn't have much opportunities to work on the project aside from some paperwork that was there since the beginning. So that's her task. First employee was Karel. He's a part-time employee and he works on some assembly processes in the production. Then we got Katka as a glass blower. So she took on the glass blowing, pumping of the tubes and other small things in assembly. At the same time, we hired Renata. This is my sister. She works in a back office as a customer support. She finalized orders and check them and ship them to customers. She takes care of the supplies and she purchased things and so quite a lot of things. Just right after Renata, we hired another lady for assembly, Lenka. So she prepares the parts for the manufacturer, clean them, like unpack them, clean them, and assemble the tubes, and makes them ready for Katka for the evacuation. So short after Lenka, we found Radim. Radim is a student, university student. He studies electronic engineering. He does everything, not just electronic engineering, but like a full stack things like CAD drawing, like mechanical engineering and everything, software, what you need to do in order to come up with some working tools or machines. Short after Radim, we found another engineer, high school student, Leakage. They are both from Březulby, from the village where is the castle. So quite a lucky find, because this is a village with less than 2,000 people. So this is really great that we were able to find two young skilled guys. Anyway, okay, so this is the structure as it is now. So whenever anyone from the people needs something, they go to me. So Katka see that the machine is not working, she goes to me and I need to fix it. When I find that there is something that can be improved on the machine, like let's say switch from the cloud connection to something else, I go to Radim, then Radim independently works on the machine, and when there is another problem, Katka goes again to me and like this. I'm now trying to find a way how to get to the phase 2, like I need to, because this is how it is now. And if I want to get to the point where we have 15 people working independently on me in the phase 2 with the semi-automated production of the F tube, I need to have clear idea of how it is working at this time, like of the organization, so that if I have the goal, I can go step by step towards the goal, because past 3 years I was a little bit clueless where to go, and we were stagnating, like we were still producing the same thing and not improving, not bringing many new products, and so and if you want to stay in the market and stay in the business, you need to bring new things and evolve. Doesn't matter. So one of the things that I learned with Petr in Madio was to forget about the problems of the present. So let's start from the scratch and try to define the ideal manufacturing plant, like the factory in the phase 2. So we want to manufacture an XC tube on a semi-automatic way. So we will need people, machines, space and other stuff. So let's start with organization of the people. I completely removed like people names and faces and everything from this process, because otherwise it would get me into thinking whether this person is good for this process, and I don't want to constrain myself with the people I have right now, because I can improve their skills in the future over the years, or I can hire new people to join the team, and other, you know, like there are ways. So also one person can do 2 positions. So let's not limit ourselves by thinking about people and going personal about them. So here I have the positions that I came up with. So let's manufacture in Xcube. So we will need someone who will, let's say, unpack the material, wash it and clean it. Then we need someone who will assemble the parts together. Once it is in the glass, or for the glass work we need a glass blower. Now it's in the glass, and we need where is it? Someone, I don't know. You know, these names of the positions are completely off. I don't know the correct terms in English, so I just like used pumper, for instance, which is clearly a nonsense, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, so someone who will pump the tube and fill it with the gas. Now we have the tube almost finished. These people are using machines. So machines need a maintenance. So we will need someone who will do the maintenance. These people doesn't know exactly what to do, and we need to have a person that will be able to tell them what to do, and also keep an eye on them so that they don't make mistakes, and this person will need to tell them what to avoid, and so this person is called process engineer. So we need process engineer. Now we don't have the machines yet, so we need to build them. So we need someone who will, together with the process engineer, will do the mechanical engineering. Let's say we'll draw in CAD the individual physical parts and build them. We need someone who will build the electronics around the machines, who will do the software for the machines, because there will be a lot of software. Okay, these people in the production cannot work independently. Someone have to keep an eye on them and tell them like how many of what to do, and generally like direct their work. So this would be a manufacturing manager. This person would be responsible for the production team. So here we kind of have people who will work in research and development. Maybe the process engineer will be better to work with them so that they can together build the machines, and then there will be some cooperation. We have a R&D, like research and development manager, who will be responsible for this team. And what more we have? Once we have a finished product, we can ship it. We need someone who will do floor cleaning and keep the space clean. Quality inspector who will make sure that what we are shipping is the highest possible quality. And then we have some other roles here. Yeah, a director. These two, because we have already 2 managers here, so there need to be some person who will be above them, like this. So this is the ideal. So this is our organization chart, and let's look at the situations that I described downstairs in the production. So let's say the simple one, the electrodes on the spot welder are broken. So the person who is responsible for the spot welding system is, like for this particular working place, is the assembly worker. Because he's not allowed to fix the machines himself. We will get to this later. Let's say this is a best practice from all the vacuum tube manufacturing books that I found. The operators, the workers working with the machines, are never allowed to do any fixes and improvements and this, only because they don't have the proper training for this. So he needs to go to his manufacturing manager and report the problem. The manager decides that it needs a maintenance guy to come and fix it, because the maintenance guy has the proper training for all the machines and for all the tools that this manufacturing team is using. Then he can do the work properly. So he would fix it, go back to manufacturing manager and report that the work is done and that the work can continue. So in this case, this problem would never leave out of the team. Basically, like, we can do this. The only problem is that we don't have the maintenance guy who is trained for this. So we'll get to this later. Another problem what I described was a problem with the pumping system. So the guy, who is called Pumper, like weird name here, comes to work on the morning and he finds that there is no way how he could make the machine work, because it's for some reason it doesn't react to his input. He would go to the manufacturing manager and he would report that the machine is not working. The manager would go to the maintenance guy, he would come to the machine and he would find that all the basic things are working and it's not possible for him to do anything with it. It would be reported higher, and the director would decide that the IT guy needs to look at it. The guy would look at it and he would fix the problem with the router, and he would report the director that there was a problem with the router. And because this would repeat, I don't know, 3 times or even more with the router, the problems with the mechanical connection in the router are here in our case, let's say 5 times a year, maybe more. The director would ask to fix the routers and the mechanical connections, and also there will be another decision that we need to make the machines not dependent on the cloud. So it would go to the R&D manager, who would ask his guys to look at the machine and fix it. But it would go, like, there would be a communication between these people when exactly they can go and fix it, and they would let the other guys know. Because what happened was that, like in the mentioned situation, that the guy who came to the machine suddenly found that the machine is changed, that there are some new buttons and everything. Over the weekend, this happened over the weekend when the guy was not there, the pumper, and he was not sure whether the machine is running or not. It was not running, so he just decided to wait for this guy to come and like look at it. In our ideal situation, the manufacturing manager would already know about the work which is being done on the machine, so they would have the information. This is quite important, as I found, because if the right people don't have the right information, because it's not possible to keep everyone informed, because that would be a really significant overhead of informing everyone about everything. So if the proper people have the proper information, then it's much easier, the communication, and not everyone needs to be involved in this scenario, and the guy can do some videos for YouTube, for instance. Okay, so the R&D manager would know the window where they can work on the machine from this other manufacturing manager, so that it doesn't conflict with their schedule of manufacturing. And he would send these guys, like, they would probably prepare on background some systems so that they can come to the machine and just swap it. And once this change would be implemented on the machine, he would report to the manufacturing manager that it's done and that they can continue. And then inside this team, the information would be sent down to the pumper, so that he can work on it again and that it's ready for operation. This is super simplified and it seems overcomplicated, but in the real world it would be just like one sentence from here to here, one from here to here, and it would be done, and everyone would know what's going on. Here in the current situation, like, all the informations would be here, and nobody would know what's going on. Like, this guy would tell this guy, hey, fix this machine, the guy would go and then nobody else would know, and it would cause some friction. It's something that can escalate in the future, and we want to avoid it, especially if we have, let's say, twice as much people in the future. We don't know, we will see. There are some professions and some positions that we cannot skip. IT, purchasing of the material, other stuff, payroll, sending, like keeping all the sensitive information about people, sending their payments, wages, and so sales and marketing. That should be probably somewhere here, but just not a sales and marketing guy. It doesn't matter. We are trying to work with what we have right now. I can dream of having a structure like this, but I don't have money for it, I don't have people, anything for it, and I'm definitely not going to grow the team right now. These are the people that we have, and let's start with the positions which are already defined and working well. So we have Katka on the position of the glass blower, and on the position of the pumper. So we will have more people, like one person on the more positions. We have Lenka on the position of the preparation worker and assembly worker. Next we have this is a person who already knows what to do and is trained for this, just like this. So now let's start with the R&D team. So I will first move myself here to the position of the process engineer. This is the person that knows how to do the things, like how to do the washing, pumping, and all these things, temperatures, pressures, chemicals, and this. That will be me, or in current situation it's me. Then we have on mechanical engineer position, we have more people on one position right now. And these three guys are also on the electronic engineer position and software engineer position. I'm not sure whether I should like split it between us or not, but at the moment it's easier when one person does all the tasks, like full stack. If they are making things, we will get to this with specific projects. And so far it's working, so it doesn't make sense to divide it between people, because then you need to find kind of interface between software engineer and electronic engineer and mechanical engineer, and this back, and it's mess. So it's better when one person does full stack whole project instead of trying to split it. So that's like this. Now we have, okay, that's me again. So I do the financial stuff. Okay, sales and marketing. Okay, and IT. Eva, she's in the paperwork, so she does. Oh no, she does payrolls. And I see already that there should be something like accountant. So we outsource this position, but there's quite a lot of overhead of preparing the papers and this for the accountant. So Eva does this job. Purchasing is done quite successfully by Rencha. This is more important than it looks, because this is more important than it looks, because the guy on the purchasing position is responsible for all the factory, because if something is missing, some material, then here everything stops. So this is here. Okay, maintenance. I do the maintenance, and shipping is done by Rencha, and quality inspector. This is a position where we have Lenka. Lenka was found to be very, how to say, she is able to spot even small things and small differences from how it should be, and the final quality inspection between shipping does Rencha. We have Karel, this is our first employee. He is on a position of assembly worker as well, like on a part-time job, small tasks, and kind of on a maintenance position. He does also the maintenance jobs. We have these three people, like the director and R&D manager and manufacturing manager. So these people will be responsible for leading the teams and for the fact that these teams do what they should do. So I will first take myself on this position, because if I would be able to change the situation like instantly, I would become a person here, because this is what really makes me happy working on the engineering projects, and what I love on this business and on this project. So this would be my dream position in the factory, but unfortunately we had quite a lot of long discussion whether I need to be here or not, whether we should maybe hire someone else for doing this job, because this is purely administrative position, and I simply didn't want to be there, but I didn't find any other way than any other way than to be here. You know that I don't want to be here, simply. Doesn't matter. So a director, that's me here, and now the manufacturing manager. This guy is responsible for the manufacturing team. So we received the order, and the guy is responsible for the fact that this order will be manufactured in the highest quality and shipped to the customer, so that the customer receives the package in good shape and fast. So there's quite a lot of things involved, but it all starts with communication with customer and ends with communication with customer. There's quite a lot of intensive communication in English. We decided that we will move Rencha here. This is the situation. This is the like chart of what we will be trying to implement in the following weeks. We spent a couple of weeks now communicating between like me and Rencha and Mario, because like it seems to be just like moving people and this, but it's actually very personal. For instance, I'm like promoting here my own sister, who came like after many other early employees to the business. So there can be like some emotional, frictions between them, because it might not be fair for people. There will be quite a lot of pressure on her, because she will be responsible for the people and for the fact that everything is running as it should be. There is also some fears from my side, because I don't know if she will be able to work on this position, but we will see. We have all these potential problems and potential like frictions in the team has been already discussed for a couple of weeks with Petr from Mario. I mentioned in the previous video that Petr is a coach, a guy who does who helps the businesses to implement different things from the 5S system, like just whatever it needs from the managing point of view. I believe that cooperation with them will help us to avoid building stress in the team. There are already some tools existing for cleaning the air, or how to say it, in the teams. So we want to try working with these. And from my side, I'm interested in growing the business. I'm interested in moving from the current situation, like from current scenario of production, like laboratory production into real factory. This is the movement from the phase 1 to phase 2, what I showed you. So my responsibility is to make sure that the people stays with us, that they develop the skill, and that they that there are no stresses between them. Because if just a slight stress and politics and all these things will start to grow even in a team of 10 or 15 people. So that's from my side. I am like, the reason why I do business, I want to make it as simple as possible. So I don't want to bring any like unnecessary organization or any unnecessary things, because the reason why I do business is that I didn't find myself fitting into the like a corporate or other bigger factories. So I want to keep it small and well organized. I believe that it will help us to increase the productivity efficiency, and that it will help us to be more focused on the product development and be more flexible. Because right now we are, if something strikes, and I see it with the COVID right now, we are quite fine. But if I would be forced to come up with a new product or change significantly our business, then I wouldn't be able, because if I decide to do something like the H-tube already is bringing it to the edge, if I would be in such a situation, then the manufacturing would break apart, because I would not be there, and that would be a problem. So we need to look at it from this scenario point of view, and we need to train the people. Yeah, for example, just one of the things what I see here, I should explain all the maintenance things to Karel and disappear from here. So it would be like this, and then like all the maintenance would stay in this team, and I would not be necessary there. Yeah, so it will be like this. Well, we'll see. This is just my thinking. This is just the way how I see it, and maybe it's completely wrong. Maybe I'm completely overthinking everything, but I believe that just the mindset shift will help me to evolve the processes. Yeah, and I want to just quickly, I want to show you the statistics of the failure rate, what I mentioned, where it is here, failure distribution. So I showed you several times this chart in emails, and this is the leakage rate histogram. So leakage was the most stressful problem that we ever had. It was since the beginning. So let's see. We recently finally, or it seems that we are finally out of it. But we will talk about this more in detail later. So this is the histogram. So whenever we receive a report by a customer that the tube got a leak, developed a leak, we put it into the stats, and these charts are created from these data. So let's look at this. On the x-axis we have the serial number of the tube. So tube number 1000 was manufactured somewhere in 2015. So you can see, and here somewhere here, tube number 7000 was manufactured in May last year, so 2019, and you can see that the failure rate is, or this is actually the percentage of the failures. Each of these bars represents 100 tubes. So this is a percentage of the failures in the particular 100 batch of tubes. So you can see that right after 1000 we had really serious problems. Like here, this bar means that we had 24% of tubes reported as leaky over time. Over time, I mean, since they were manufactured in 2015 to 2020, so in past 5 years, they developed the leak. And then it goes like lower and lower, and finally here I will talk like these colors represent some changes in the production and materials and the way how we inspect the parts. And you can see that finally from here the leakers completely disappeared. So we are here close to 12,000 tubes produced, and we didn't have a leaky tube in over 1 year, well, like 1 year and something. This is very important because in the past we had tubes that were reported as leaky earlier than 1 year from the production. This is important thing. This is about failures. It's not about longevity or lifespan of the tubes. Yeah. So this is like when your car breaks after 1 month since purchase, and this is not the lifespan of the car. This is a failure. The lifespan of the car is in decades, might be, I don't know. You know, this is not maybe the best example, but just to illustrate it. So yeah, leak occurrences in time. So yeah, I will get to this in the future, and this was just illustration of how close we are to finally have the laboratory work done, and how close we are to trying to scale our business and bring the F-tube, which I hope to be sold for lower price, or this is actually the goal, and we will be able to be more profitable on it, so that we can develop the machines and other things internally. I'm shooting this video on Sunday, and tomorrow we have a scheduled meeting on Monday, and I will tell the people that we will now try to implement the different structure of the organization, that we will have Rencha as their manager. So I hope that it will all work well. Okay, that's all for today. It's already long enough, so I will bring more details in the following videos. Thank you, and see you later.